facing the truths about yourself, facing the truths about the past. Maybe the things that you remembered aren't really the ways in which it went down objectively.
It's about reunion, it's about love, it's about fighting for something you believe in that you might have lost.
It's about learning to trust your feelings and the process of trusting your feelings and the things you might have to go through and put yourself through to learn how to trust your feelings.
It's a play about love, and it's also a play that is lovingly human.
It's about what happens when we really are forced to hold space for the multiple points of views around one particular relationship.
Welcome back to My Harlem Portrait, the show that aims at shedding the light on the fundamental contribution of African Americans to the building of this country and on Black excellence. And to represent Black excellence today, we have two young and gifted artists, director JELLICLE LEVINGSTON and playwright DOUGLAS LYONS. They are going to talk about TABLE17, their beautiful romantic comedy, which is having its world premiere at MCC Theater right now, and which is starring three-time Tony nominee, Harlem-owned Cara Young, who is also winner of the 2024 Tony Award for Purlie Victorious, opposite MICHAEL RISHAWN, who was in Ain't No More on Broadway. So, welcome to both of you. And I would like to present you very briefly because you've done so much that otherwise it's only me talking. So Douglas, you are a multi-talented artist. You're a writer, actor, teacher, composer, lyricist, producer, and received a GLAAD nomination, GLAAD, I imagine, nomination for your Broadway playwriting debut, Chicken and Biscuits, which I saw 2 times. And it's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I loved it. I was folded in two. It was amazing. And it was the second most produced play in America in 2022-2023. You also founded the Next Wave Initiative, which is committed to amplifying future Black voices in the American theater. JELLICLE, you are a storyteller and a director. You are a board member for the Broadway Advocacy Coalition, which is the recipient of the Honorary Tony Award in 2021, and the artistic director of Inheritance Theater Project, which, among other things, put up Tina on Broadway, the Tina Turner Broadway show, which was also amazing. I said 3 times. You recently directed Cats, the JELLICLE Ball. Oh my God. Compelling, crazy, desecrating show.
That's true.
Which just ran at the Perelman Performing Arts Center. Yes. So now, to both of you, I would like to ask you which point in your life you decided or realized that the performing arts was going to be your world?
When I was in 5th grade, I was cast as a short, chubby, Black Aladdin in our 5th grade production of Aladdin. And pretty much from that day on, I only wanted to make theater. So I'm one of the lucky ones that found the arts at a very, very, very early age and had a lot of people tell me I can do as opposed to I shouldn't do.
Hmm.
You don't look like a chubby, short guy.
A while ago. Wow.
I found theater in a serious way. I was 16, and I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, and the national tours of Cats, nonetheless, and Rent came through the Schubert tour.
Yes.
And coincidentally, it was the Rent tour that I would join 3 years later as an actor. So I got the bug around 16. I did my first high school show. Was Tony in West Side Story, and I riffed inappropriately. You're welcome.
Fantastic. West Side Story was when I was a little girl. When I saw the movie the first time, oh my God. My father took me to see that, and it was amazing. And then I saw the show on Broadway. Wow. Fantastic, fantastic. So at what point in your careers, respective careers, first of all, which were the moments that you cherish most, or the moment that you consider most challenging? And then at which point you thought, oh, this is a turning point for me. This is a new chapter opening up.
It's a great question. I tend to really be bad at the retrospective. So let me think. I mean, a turning point for sure, just in terms of my career in general, is just being able to direct Chicken and Biscuits on Broadway, both in terms of, you know, what I learned as a director and also what it just means to be a young Black director who has crossed that milestone. And I don't know, everything is hard. That's what I'm learning. And that hard doesn't mean, you know, hard doesn't have to be negative, and that the sooner you can embrace hard as a gift of the universe trying to point you to some kind of new understanding or greater capacity, then the more grace you'll have with it. And I'm learning that lesson all the time.
Yeah.
I think for me, it actually happened pre-Chicken. So during the pandemic, I was blessed enough to get in the writer's room for Fraggle Rock on Apple TV. And that was an epiphany moment where I was like, oh, you're not just a budding writer, like you're being paid to write. And the world's on fire right now. And like, you're not here by a mistake. I think writing had been sort of, you know, an outlet for fun, but then with Fraggle, I was like, oh no, this is your profession. So that was a turning point for me. And then hard, I mean, it's all hard. You know, I'm an actor as well, and that sense of rejection never really goes away. When I think back, I was up for like 3 or 4 different shows when I was doing Beautiful, when I was really starting to write. I was up for Ain't Too Proud. I had like 6 callbacks, one of which was on a Saturday morning before a 2-show day. And that Tuesday, like 4 people in my dressing room got the show and I didn't. And I remember like almost breaking into tears. But when I look back on hindsight, if I had gotten that show, I would not be the writer I am right now. Because my time would have been occupied in a different way. And so I'm grateful for every scratch along the way, because it's taught me something that I didn't know was coming.
It's always fascinating when that happens. I had a similar thing with Hamilton, where I had a bunch of auditions and it was down to me and someone for the tour, and I didn't get it and I was devastated. And then I was like, oh, that would have taken so much time away from my journey as a director.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have had the same experience, that sometimes what seems for you to be a terrible thing happening, it can turn into a very good thing later on. You can't see it at the moment, but later on you look back and you say, oh, thank God that happened, because otherwise I would still be doing the same thing or something like that.
Right.
How did you meet? Is it now doing this, or you already knew each other and you already did something together?
Well, we met at a mutual friend's concert, and we did know each other, and we sat by each other, and we introduced ourselves leaning into what we really wanted to be in this industry rather than what any kind of resume might have proven us to be. And so I was like, hi, I'm Jalen, I'm a director. And Douglas was like, I'm Douglas, I'm a writer. And I was like, oh, well, send me something that you've written. And he sent me the first 30 pages of Chicken and Biscuits. And, you know, that kind of is the beginning of our working relationship.
And Jay, so Zai, you kept in touch then?
Oh, yeah. We kind of never stopped talking from that moment because once I read the play, that began, you know, Chicken and Biscuits 2 years of development, and everything we went through together working on that show. And yeah, just so excited that now we are, you know, working on another show together and debuting it in New York, and both of us growing in different ways and learning in different ways. And it's very rare that, you know, collaborators can stay together past one show. So
yeah, it's sophomore year. This is sophomore year.
Since sophomore year.
No, this is our sophomore project because it's
okay. It's
yeah.
the beginning. How do you feel about doing this together now? Douglas, tell me.
It is it's really beautiful because, you know, to the point of growth, I think since 2021, we've both learned lessons in other spaces and been able to bring those lessons to this space. And so we have a language which is very exciting, and like we lean and trust on each other in different ways. And so it really feels like Chicken, I felt like a chicken with my head cut off, given how quickly it happened, the circumstances in which we put it up. But this feels very intentional and calm in part. So I get to enjoy it. You know, I stayed home this afternoon and worked on a rewrite that's going in from a note we gave this morning. And at first I was like, I don't know. And I was like, but I'm gonna try it. And then we found something really beautiful. And so when you have that in a process and there's like no ego, because it's really about refining and defining the story, it's exciting to come to work because you know it's just going to get better.
That's right. Fantastic. From your respective roles as a writer and the director, what is really about this play? I'm not asking you the synopsis, which I'm going to ask you later. What is really about this play, and what is the message that you want to give to the public and the public to take home?
Yeah, I mean, there's the themes of love is the obvious one. It's a romantic comedy, but love through hardship is something that's really specific in the play. Love through forgiveness, love through hope, that we can find love through our kind of like messy pasts, and meet each other on the other side of that. And just, I think, to zoom outside of just like the themes of the play, you know, Douglas writes plays that need an audience in the room. So in some way, on some level, the play is about who's in the house that night, every night, and their relationship to the story and what they have to say and their point of view in a way that doesn't feel like theoretical, how we talk about like, oh, a play needs an audience. No, this play really, the audience really is a participant in the world. And that feels like a real distinction to me.
Wow. That sounds very interesting. I'm coming to see the show tomorrow, so.
Oh, very exciting.
We'll
very
be there.
exciting.
About that.
Yeah, I would say that there's a line in the end of the play. Can love be real if it ends, or is it only rich when it lasts? And so asking the question of, you know, any ex, any memory, any friendship, any loss of love that you can articulate, can you still find the good in it, even if it doesn't last forever? And like, did you grow as a result of that relationship, and can that be celebrated, is what I think we're really asking. And that's a hard thing to tangle with, you know, for me to look at my exes and be like, oh, horrible. But actually, no, it's not completely horrible because one of them led me to writing music. and the other one inspired the character in Chicken and Biscuits. So I'm
Which
actually
character?
the white one. Oh,
Beneath.
yeah. Uh, so I'm grateful for that. And can we get to a place in healing and in therapy? That's another theme in the show where you can allow yourself to celebrate even the losses.
Yes. And so we go back to the same, to what we were talking about, that not everything that seems negative turns out to be negative,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very good message. It's a very interesting message.
Yeah.
It's a positive message.
For
And
sure.
we need, God knows, we need positive right now. I mean, now we are in a good moment. 2 weeks ago, I was in Italy and I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have to move. If that orange thing goes back, I'm gonna have to move and come back to Italy. And now, wow,
Yeah.
I watched the convention. It was amazing. It was like a rebirth.
Mm.
So we are in a good moment, positive moment.
Yes.
We have a little time, so tell me, yes, we have time. So tell me a little bit about the play. What happens in this play? What you can
We ain't
tell
gonna
us
say too much
without
now. We can't give
revealing
it
too much.
away. We can't give you, but basically there's two exes, Jada and Dallas. They were together for 5 years. They have not been in communication since the breakup for 2 years. And what's called the other to dinner for a reason we don't know. Obviously, you'll learn throughout the play. But it's a play that investigates the history of love, the budding of love, the beautiful memories and moments, you know, that one goes through in a relationship, and communication within love as well. Whether you've wanted to be in love, whether you have love, whether you're yearning for it, I think it'll speak to you. So it's simple on paper. I think very emotional in action.
Fantastic. How was it you who chose the actors who were gonna play in this play? And how did you choose them?
We both kind of chose the actors. We didn't have auditions at all for this. And so we both just kind of like pitched people that we wanted to do the role. MICHAEL RISHAWN, who's in the show, has been with the show since the very, very beginning, before the play was even finished being written. And so in a lot of ways, the role, though not inspired by him by any stretch, but has really been written onto his instrument and his abilities and the things that he can do. And then Kara and BIKO came on just a little bit later and did a couple of readings before agreeing to do this developmental production.
Fantastic. I know Kara pretty well because she's from Harlem and I have interviewed her a few times. And I think she's really amazing. Every time you see her, she really gets into the character and not recognize her at all. And that's, I think, is really incredible about an actor. Talking to our viewers, why should they come and see this play?
We want you to laugh. As you said, the world is heavy. And I think what we love is just a joy machine. And so it's a show that invites you to participate. It's truly a rom-com. It's fun and it's touching and it's important. But well, I don't know if you want to bring your ex, bring your new boo, bring a possible boo, a hopeful boo, and come enjoy, you know, yourself in the theater. In an audience that's been multi-generational, many different backgrounds, and celebrate, you know, people trying to figure out love. Come through.
And it's 80 minutes. So, you know, you'll have time for dinner afterwards.
Or
before.
Yeah.
Make it a part of your evening, a part of your date night. It's been made with your experience in mind.
That sounds really, really interesting. Very, very interesting. So I'm very happy to come and see it. To both of you, what is your next project?
I'm still in the Cats Machine, and so we finished that show September 8th at the Perlman Performing Arts Center, and I begin working on a piece that I'm co-directing with Tony Award winner Rachel Chafkin called Reconstructing, and that will be at BAM in Brooklyn, and that's my most immediate next thing. But over the holiday, I am going home to Shreveport, Louisiana, and staging a production of Chicken and Biscuits, which will be my first time doing that show since we did it on Broadway. So I'm really excited for that.
Wow. Did you do that at the National Black Theater Festival this year?
No.
Winston-Salem?
Oh, so there was a production. You didn't direct it,
yeah.
but there was a production. Yeah, I heard about it.
Okay, because I thought it was yours, because I saw Chicken and Biscuit, but I had so many other things to see that you cannot see in New York. So I go to see the other stuff when I'm there. And for you?
Yes, I have some new works in development. I have a developmental production of a show called Don't Touch My Hair, which is happening at the MCC Theater Company in Los Angeles in Jan 25.
Wow.
So I'm working on some TV projects in development. So yeah, but I'm really excited for this moment. I truly am trying to revel and breathe in this moment.
This one.
Because I think what we're doing together is special.
Until when is the show running at the MCC Theater?
September 22nd.
Perfect. So we have more than a month. Please, we're telling our viewers, go and see the show.
Yes.
Because we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes.
And we need to support these two young, talented artists.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this. And if I can ask you one thing each, one moment in particular you would like to underline in your career from the point of view, a show that you liked more than others or that represents more for you. One of each, because we haven't had the time to say all the things that you've done. So I would like you to focus on something.
Something that we did or something that we saw?
Something that you did, your career.
I got the gift during this rehearsal period to go to San Diego and perform in a one-night concert of Rent with San Diego Symphony, and I played Collins, and that was really special because I did the national tour 18 years ago. So that was a really beautiful moment in full circle for me. I don't think I've really registered it yet because I came back into rehearsal, but that was a really, really special moment for me.
Yeah,
I read about that and it sounded incredible.
Oh,
yes, there are videos. Fine, you can. You know, I have to say Cats. Cats was a musical that I made my mother buy me at Blockbuster when I was in second grade, and I watched it every day for like 3 years. And so to be a part of the very first time Andrew Lloyd Webber has allowed anyone to reimagine the material at all. It was the first non-duplicate production of the show in its 30 plus years. You know, feels probably pretty historic, though I also am still trying to receive what it all means.
With that cast on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Andre the Shield, among others. I haven't been able to see it because I was going back and forth to Italy. So I really was so unhappy that I missed it because I saw pieces of it and I thought, oh my God, this is crazy. This is going to be amazing. Next time, when you rebring it, because this is going to be brought back to Broadway, right?
Your lips.
I am putting it into the air.
Yeah.
We want it on Broadway because I want to see it. That's why. And I love the older.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So thank you again for your time, for what you're doing. Our best wishes for your career, for this moment of your career, and for the future moments of your career.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so
And
much.
thank you to our viewers. See you Saturday, 12:30 on Spectrum 1993. And to see the previous episodes of My Harlem Portraits on my YouTube channel, My Harlem Portraits, Maria G. Cavenaghi. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.